Hey guys, here's another topic that I wanted to discuss in asking a therapist, or just really discussing topics that might be even related to therapy. And I was inspired by a Reddit that I was reading today where somebody was talking about how she was so frustrated with people saying that they were so lucky because they were skinny and making comments like, oh, you're so lucky. And, the thread goes on that a lot of people were saying, yes, thank you for bringing this up, because I think that people, when they first hear that, they think it's a compliment. They're like, oh, wow, you're being so kind, and it's coming from a good place of, I'm trying to compliment you. But there's a few things that, I think underlie that message that we're sending to people. So it's important that you're right. We think twice before we say, hey, you're so lucky because you look a certain way. And the first thing is, it's sending a message that being skinny is important or worthwhile or valuable. And again, our culture is really messed up in the fact that it sees people and what they look like as being something that's super valuable about them. And it overemphasizes that. So I'm not here to say, hey, like, beauty is a bad thing, but the fact that our culture is so obsessed with it, it kind of paints this narrative that it is way more important than it really is. So when you tell someone they're so lucky that they look a certain way or they're thin, you're kind of, again, reinforcing that cultural message that that's what's important about you. So that's the first thing that's not so great. The second thing is, you don't ever know how a person feels about their body, if their thinness is due to an eating disorder or struggling with some health issue. And some people are really self-conscious about their thinness and actually are trying to work really hard to not be thin. So when you tell somebody they're lucky that they're thin, again, you don't ever know kind of where they're coming from, or if they're really struggling to be accepting of their body or to even want to gain weight. And I know in the weightlifting world too, people are trying to get gains, and that's like a big thing now. So for those people too, if you compliment them on their thinness, they may take that as actually something that's not so great. Now, I work a lot with eating disorders. So the other thing about if you're complimenting a person, and again, if they struggle with disordered eating, people who struggle with eating disorders can typically even find a compliment to be something negative. In the way that they're seeing that people are focusing on their bodies. They might be thinking, they might be thinking of it as like, oh, do people notice or do they not notice? I don't know. Regardless, it's not really a good idea to talk about a person's appearance, especially if they struggle with any sort of disordered eating. And I think, honestly, culturally, we can do a better job of thinking of deeper things to compliment people about, and to say that, we're really grateful that they have other character traits and things that we value a lot more than the shape or size of their body. So anyway, I just want to give kudos to that person for bringing this to people's attention, because, again, I think the heart of it's good. They think they're complimenting somebody, but at the end of the day, it's actually, I think we could do better as a culture, and we can talk about people in a better way. And the things that make us lucky are not about what we look like. So we're so much more than that, and I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. I'll talk with you later.